What's in a name? A whole lot, actually, especially when it comes to the characters of the Owl House. Though we are only 10 episodes into this series, the symbolism between characters and their names runs deep, so I thought it would be fun to do an analysis on the topic. Now, before I get into the big symbolism, I do want to point out two characters that have special significance with their names. Those two being Principal Bump and Basha. In the short Welcome to Hexside, we find out that Principal Bump's first name is Hieronymus. This is significant because the artist that inspired Dana Terrace in creating the world of the Boiling Isles and subsequently the Owl House was named Hieronymus Bosch, and the crew pay homage to him by having both Principal Bump and Basha take after his name. Now, when it comes to our main cast, some of their naming symbolism is more prominent than others, and I'll get into those in a little bit. But characters like Emira, Edric, Lilith, and Ida have smaller naming symbolism. Emira has the meaning worthy of merit, which seems appropriate considering that both she and her brother have natural talent when it comes to their magic abilities. Edric means wealthy ruler, and while Edric himself may not be a ruler, the Blight family seems to be wealthy as evident by their estate. Lilith has the meaning of night monster or storm goddess. This is interesting because it's been shown that Lilith has a reputation of having a short temper, as evident when Lilith attacked Ida in Convention and when she arrived at the jail to interrogate Luce posing as Ida.
Oh, that's it! There she is.
Oh, is it really her? Oh no, this is not good.
Hey, you gotta take that thing out before someone sees you.
I like it. Calms the nerves.
So the terms monster and storm seem to fit well with that side of Lilith. Ida is interesting because her full name Idalin doesn't seem to have a definitive meaning. Ida, however, means strive for wealth, and this seems about right for Ida considering how much she loves money, though she is still scraping by selling human junk and potions. Now, when it comes to our main Hexside group and Luce, there is much more prominent naming symbolism. First, we'll start with Augustus. His name is interesting because of how it represents something that Gus is actually working towards, because the name Augustus means venerable or accorded a great deal of respect, especially because of age, wisdom, or character. We know from Something Ventured, Someone Framed, that Gus is younger than other students at Hexside and definitely isn't that popular. But despite that, he was president of the Human Appreciation Society and did try to include others so they wouldn't feel left out.
Being younger than everyone is hard. You're overlooked, ignored. But at the HAS, I matter. I can make sure no one would ever get left behind.
Gus also takes accountability for his actions in both Hootie's Moving Castle and Something Ventured, Someone Framed. In Gus's case, his age often causes him to be overlooked, although he is shown to be respectable when it comes to his character. Gus will likely have to overcome his perceived inability based on his young age and earn the respect from others, thus living up to his name. Up next, we have Willow. Now, there's the obvious symbolism of Willow being named after a tree and her being incredibly gifted in plant magic. And when looking at the symbolism of the Willow tree, it's adaptability. And similar to Gus, I think that this is something Willow is working towards. In I Was a Teenage Abomination, we see Willow being the victim of Amity's bullying, and based on their conversations, it seems that this has been going on for a while. So this tells us that Willow has been pretty passive. It's not until Willow meets Luce that there is a change in Willow's disposition. We see at the end of I Was a Teenage Abomination, Willow is able to use the seed that Luce had to give them an escape route, and this shows adaptability. And later we see in Hootie's Moving Castle, Willow decides she wants to stick it to Amity with their Moonlight Conjuring. While this isn't necessarily demonstrating adaptability, I feel it's a stepping stone for Willow in her character development. Especially with Luce set to attend Hexside, and with Luce and Amity starting to form a friendship, who we know that Willow used to be friends with, this will be the push that will cause Willow to be more adaptable. Because I don't see Willow and Amity's path to repairing their friendship going that smoothly. I see Willow learning to adapt to the situation whilst gaining self-confidence, and hopefully the two will eventually make amends in the process. Speaking of Amity though, she probably has the most interesting and prominent symbolism in her name. Amity literally means a friendly relationship, and at first this seems to be ironic given to how she treats Willow and Luce. But after Lost in Language, we see that Amity is actually a kind person, thus her character reflects her name.
Thank you. Maybe you aren't a bully. I haven't exactly been the friendliest witch either. I'll think on that.
However, her name is even more intriguing when you look at her last name, Blight. Blight is defined as a plant disease, and immediately this makes me think of Willow and Amity's damaged friendship. Considering that Willow is a gifted witch in plant magic and literally named after a tree, and Amity's name means friendship with her last name meaning plant disease, the symbolism runs deep. Like I just mentioned with Willow though, these two will most likely be on a path to repairing their friendship. With Willow, it's going to be learning to adapt and gain self-confidence, and with Amity, it's going to be living up to her name and being friendlier. Lastly, we have Luz. Luz's name translated from Spanish to English literally means light. Now there's the obvious connection of Luz's first spell that she learned being the light spell. But I feel Luz as a character embodies the symbolism of light. Light is often associated with goodness, clarity, and insight. Luz exudes optimism and goodness, and we can see how that affects those around her. With Ida, it's having her show a more maternal side. With Willow and Gus, it's giving them support in gaining self-confidence. And with Amity, it's a potential genuine friendship. Luz is able to bring out the best in others and help them grow as characters. She's always a source of support for others and has a knack for making people smile even at their low points. And it's these things that make Luz's symbolism to light even more prominent. The naming of characters is always interesting. In the case of the Owl House, names hold special significance as they reveal aspects about their respective characters. As the show continues, I cannot wait to see how they all develop and how they embody the symbolism of their names. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day, and until next time guys, take care.